because we have junior pony league and we have softball in there. So I reached out to them. It was a $1,528.64 increase. A lot of that was the bases. I just went ahead and bought the bases from them. But a lot of it is the double base at first base. They must be really charging a lot for them. But in high school baseball, it's going to become, you have to have that in the next year or two. So we ordered that base, and we can use it back and forth on the field 1 and 2 when it's needed. We already talked about that. Number 6, I went to AP today. Number 7 is an important one. I sent the policy manual out to everybody. I think it was December 16th. I did forget to send one to you, Laura, sorry. But this, we're kind of down to, I've been through it, Kathy's been through it. She found a lot of punctuation things and stuff. But when I talked to Joshua from Clem Nelson, he acted like we are the ones that set, I don't think you call it maternity leave, you call it something else, but we set the time frame. Like how long we're going to give somebody off for that. Like he wasn't going to put it in the
parental leave.
Yeah, parental leave now. But he acted like we vote on how long that is. 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever sick days. He said it was up to us.
Yeah, but there's certain requirements. I mean, how do you, the village or city doesn't know how it knows, whether it's FMLA or whatever it is.
FMLA allows for up to 12 unpaid weeks. So it'd be on us as the employer to determine if we want to allow any use of vacation or PTO, or if it'll be short-term disability leave.
So,
like the city of Findlay has additions to that, to say you can use these other sources for more time. I mean, I can give you a contact for the human resource director for the city of Findlay if you want to reach out to them. But I don't know, or if they're talking about other leaves, like, I mean,
It's FMLA is.
yeah, his comment to me, he sat in my office and I asked him about maternity leave, and he's like, well, you have to decide how long you're going to give employees that time.
A day.
And I'm like,
We might not fall under FMLA. I don't know if we have enough employees for us to be required to follow FMLA.
We do not,
Yeah.
because I checked on that for another source.
what do we have now for somebody? You only have, what, 4?
Like 4 full-time.
Isn't it a short-term disability? Don't we have short-term?
They might have short-term
I believe
disability. They do have a disability,
Yeah.
but
And then you use your sick time,
Sick days.
vacation time, and then the administrator, the hiring authority is the one that makes the decision
Yeah, it's also to the discretion, I think,
of the
hiring,
authority.
on, to make sure that they would have their position, if something should come up, they still have
To
their
come back.
position, yeah.
Great, see me afterwards, I'll give you contact. That's a question that
I was when he was in my office and I asked him, he said that to me, and I was a bit confused on what.
One of the
Yeah, that
things to
seems weird.
consider, from my experience, I didn't like being forced to deplete all of my time off available when I had short-term disability available, because there's appointments and stuff after you need to return to work, and then if you're out of town, you're just, taking it.
you're docked.
So just kind of keep that in mind as we're developing things.
And Haley made me aware today
I know, I found that.
that there must have been an amendment that allows 2 personal days. And you get them right when you're first hired. That was not in that procedure manual that we looked through, because I'm like, I don't remember reading that, but she showed me the ordinance.
I found it on Friday.
So
And I want to go back through. Actually, Kevin had signed it. I think it was 2015. And
I remember that, the 2 days or 2
It
days
was
paid
never.
adopted.
I mean, it was adopted and all that, but it was just tucked in
It
the
wasn't put in
master, and, yeah.
amended.
I was just going to make sure it was all right that I make sure it's in.
If we
this
have
policy.
a employee manual, but we adopt legislation outside of that, that legislation still stands.
Right.
Yeah.
So I wanna go back through that book and make sure that we don't have any others that need to go in.
So I'll discuss this with Rob, and we're all right with the 2 days, I'll make sure that's in the manual. And we'll move forward on that. Number 8, we already did. I'll let Kathy talk about.
Well, we can talk together on that. This was an awesome hour of discussion with that Phil Downing. He is that economic developer that we had talked about.
Is this through Joe?
No.
No.
Is someone
No,
else?
that's all this gentleman does,
Okay.
basically, and his son,
I couldn't.
Eric?
I was gonna say Eric.
That's what I thought, Eric. It was virtual, so they were, I think, out of Columbus area. We talked about what we envision. He had listened and watched when council had said, yes, go ahead and have a preliminary discussion with him. He was planning to have a discussion the following day with both Joe and Mark. And then he's going to get back with us and kind of come up with a big proposal. I envision us including churches, township trustees for both Pleasant and Portage, the school, a couple, like the business Cookie, maybe Crush Group, a few of the business owners downtown, council, and all of us sitting down and going, where are we at? What do we want to see here? I was pretty straightforward in saying that these buildings have sat empty. I believe it was 2013. They no longer have any electric, water, heat, windows. Yeah. We're not even sure they're feasible at this point. Do we look to move our area out, perhaps out by the new community center behind, some of that property the village owns, and put a road out there? He understood.
Yeah, I mean, he did talk a lot about historic tax credits.
Mhm.
I think he was pleased with all the stuff that we've already done, that tried to get to this point, that, he had mentioned something and like, yes, we've done this.
We've got that done, yeah.
Yes, I think he was very shocked to know that what has been done, this far. So, they were gonna talk about it, talk with, Mark and Joe, but they also said they're not gonna give us something that, if they can't help us, they can't help us. But they're gonna come up with something, if they feel they can help us, then they're gonna stick with us and help see something through. I know I got on the discussion with this Jay Fleming about downtown, and Van Wert had 62 buildings downtown that were not very good. They formed a foundation. There was people in the community that had funds.
Have you guys met with Stuart at the bank? He was part of Van Wert's
Was he?
economic development. I sat with him for about an hour and a half, and it was the most encouraging and motivating
That's good to
conversation
know.
I've had
I
in
know
a really
you
long time.
mentioned
But
he
he
had
probably
economic.
knows
Yeah.
Jay.
But yeah, 62 buildings, they bought them all. I don't know if they're all redone, but the process of redoing them. He is saying they have a little bit of a problem getting the bottom floor, the retail filled in, but the above is residential, and they're having luck with that. But yeah, he says it's everywhere. So.
This guy was very down to earth. That's what I think.
He did not talk over us, that was for sure.
Mhm.
Even though he's done a lot of projects.
So, we'll get back when he sets a proposal. I have no idea. I told Greg my estimate. Greg thought maybe I was high. I hope I'm high, but I'm hoping that maybe we can divide that out a couple ways. Maybe with the community partnership picking part of it up, perhaps with some of the business. I'd like to ask the community foundation to kick in as well and see what we come up with. If it's even, if this guy even thinks it's even a possibility. But he isn't gonna take us on if he thinks that it's not worth it.
Has he seen him personally?
Pardon me?
Has he come to town or is
He,
he just?
he was on his way, and I don't know if it was that really
It
windy
was
day.
a real windy day that the lake
and-
went out.
And his wife was like, I wanna go home, because he has family in Detroit, as what I understood it. He drives back and forth Columbus to Detroit, so he said he was going to, his intention was to come here, but he did not make it that day.
Did he say what some of the ground, besides like, things not being salvageable, did he say what other barriers that he
No.
sees?
He didn't get into all of the nitty. This was just an overview of what's happening here. Or not happening here.
And the last one, I did receive an estimate from Helms about a pump station for the community center. I don't know what your guys' feeling is, but that pump station is ours. It's not gonna be Northwest. We will be in charge of it. And I can only get it big enough to double the size of what the community center is. So any other development out there is not gonna work to that pump station. So I'm getting estimates on a gravity fed line. That's gonna be quite a bit more than what this pump station is. But I guess all this comes back to what we're thinking we're gonna do out there. I mean, now is the time to pursue that for further development, so we're not doing something again in 5 years or whatever. So I just want to run that by you guys, but I will get estimates. Helms has already given me an estimate for a gravity line, but I'm reaching out to other contractors to get.
I have a pump station at my house.
And where's your thought of that?
Considering the fact that where I'm at, and actually where I found out that I tie in is probably a real good thing, other than I don't like the fact that I don't get a discount on my waste water, because, I'm paying electricity to pump it, but that's my only deal with that, but I never realized it, but my line actually runs from beside my house up towards the road, across the creek, and 3/4 of the way across the property on the other side before it ties into the tap. So it's guaranteed, it's about 500 feet. What's the span here?
This span was, what was it, 400 something? No,
That was
that was
electric.
electric, that was 800 something.
Now, the only thing I will say is, just for serviceability wise, personally, if I had my choice to do, and I already redid some of mine, but I would put a T in and do a lead lag pump with check pumps. That way you're guaranteed you always have a good pump. Because I can tell you what, it's horrible when the handle off the side that holds the rope rust, and it fell to the bottom and sucked across and went up in the pump and stopped it, right? And then you got that to deal with. So if you had lead and lag, then you have service availability to make things a lot better. But I'm just throwing that out there.
Well, hopefully we'll get.
It's a positive
good
way to
price.
get your waste moved, and it's actually, it's less money than, and I know they could've went and looked at putting a septic in out there, right? But they chose to go this way because it was cheap. And I know who did the line, because the line wasn't marked anyway, but it was Dick Sampson that did it. But, yeah, there's no tracer line on that. But anyhow.
Well, you should have put one of those air tags and flushed and then watched where it went.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Thanks,
Any
Greg.
questions?
Rob?
Hi, short and sweet here. The mayor and council and I have been working on this Hearthside owing money issue. So I'm sending out please call me to my bankruptcy friend, who's not easy to get to heart of, because you can't look at bankruptcy proceedings online. So he's got a program that allows him to see that, to see either one, who the attorney was, or two, what the final paperwork was. If they somehow had that discharge, I don't know. I thought, companies that reorganize, they still have to pay their bills, but we'll figure that out. So I know Haley tried writing a letter to say, hey, what's going on? And that did not work. So we'll try to find lawyers to tell us what's going on and why they don't know the bill or why they're not paying it. Haley and I were at court just last week, got service on 2 cases that we didn't think we'd get service on, got judgments. So we'll let those sit for a bit and start collections. And that's all I have as far as I know.
Okay.
I mean, Greg reaches out to me all the time, I discuss all of his questions, and the mayor's.
Oh, I should have said that in my report. I sent that easement to Rob for him to look over before we signed it, so, and he said it was good to go.
Yeah, that's the boring stuff, but yeah, we do that stuff routinely, so.
And the transfer for Dollar General was in the paper today, so they hadn't had heat since November out there, so thank God we didn't have to try to get that easement through Dollar General in the very end. And thank you to Greg, Billy, and Jared, and Jim Brown. They worked themselves to death on that Friday and Saturday morning when it was very, very cold, and I was inside enjoying the inside. So, thank you, thank you. Chief?
For the month of December, we had 119 calls for service and 6 instances. Kind of slowed down a little bit, which is normal for December. Mitchell is now on his own shift. He's doing, right now, he's on 2 to 10. He's doing every other weekend. He just did this past weekend. So he'll have a day off. He has a Tuesday off prior to his weekend working. And then when he comes off negative. Thursday off prior to the weekend if he's working, and then he works the weekend and then off Tuesday and goes through. So he was off today because we have taser training tomorrow. So if any of you are off of work and you want to come in and run away so we can see if we can hit you, by all means come in and be our guinea pigs.
You said that was new council members.
Yes.
With
You got to get
saying-
initiated.
With saying that, I'm sure some of you have heard, him and I were in an incident a couple weeks ago with a subject, and that subject ended up getting tased. Mitchell did a really good job. He stepped up where he needed to step up. There was quite a few of us that was involved in that. We did have deputies over here too, because the person that we had to deal with had some drug activity going on, and that makes them very strong. So anyhow, we did everything we could. We talked to him till we were blue in the face and for over an hour, and it just didn't work. And so he ended up getting tased. But Mitchell did a good job. He stepped up. He did what he needed to do and didn't hesitate. So he's doing good.
So, remember, if he's working the weekends, you need to come into town at 35. I saw him on Saturday, I saw him on Sunday, and I was good.
And that could be adjusted, yeah, we're just kind of playing with it just to see how things are, but right now I think that's gonna be probably the shift that he'll be on.
He's becoming known around.
Yes.
People like him,
Yeah.
people like him.
I mean, Brenda's always, I mean, she happens to see every time he has his lights on with somebody. She's like, there's Mitchell, he really likes pulling people over.
I saw him come down Main Street, and he was going down, he got in front of the cemetery there, and of course, there was a white Escalade, whatever, coming in, and he just whipped it around.
He's getting-
He ended up pulling it over beside his house.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he's getting a lot of them right there by the cookie, which I'm 100%
Love
okay
that.
with.
Yes.
Yeah, he likes to run traffic, so.
Yeah.
Yep.
He does. He doesn't always write tickets, I mean, a lot of them, he gives a warning if, you know, they don't have a terrible driving record or something, but
Mhm.
he's doing good, so.
He was working Christmas Day and at the park running Rita. They wrote him, "So you being Scrooge today?" He goes, "No, I gave him a warning." It is very, very nice to
Yep.
have you. I don't know how often I've seen the sheriff since contract's over, but I don't see him driving behind the school like I had.
Not too often. There's a couple of them that's come over. I think they like Mitchell and kind of interact with him a little bit,
Good.
and so.
Okay, any questions for Peter? Thank you. And I mentioned about Mitchell, his evaluation's coming up, so we're ready for that.
We're working on that.
Okay, I'm not gonna take too long. Birthdays, Jim Brown turned 50, ha-ha, on the 5th. And Sarah turns 30 coming up here on the 30th.
Right.
They do. So, happy birthday.
Sarah, I didn't know you were younger than I was.
Stop it. I'm just a young kid.
I mentioned last month that, Mrs. Kern and myself had a conference with, the director out of the, West Ohio Food Bank. The school is going to do a food distribution. She just sent this flyer to me today. It will be on Monday, January 26th from 4 to 6. That way it'll catch people on first shift and second shift. It will be at the school. I do have a question for her because she has on this, must be at or below 230% of the federal poverty guidelines. Well, maybe if you're there you know that, but I don't know how you're gonna prove that. I don't know if so I was made copies and was gonna pass it out, and then I'm thinking, no. So stay tuned to get an update on that. The school did find a possibility of a food closet area that we're looking maybe for another year. I reached out to all the ministers just to kind of update our email list, because I know since 22 that's changed, and that was when we had our 175th. So I plan to email them tomorrow to see if maybe they would be interested in having a food pantry within one of the churches. I did find out that the school does have a closet for some clothing as well, which it's nice to know some of the, if you don't have kids there, you don't know some of these things. So trying to build that bridge with them. The postcards for the low to moderate income, Casey informed me that we were approved from the state to go ahead and do that. So she's going to tumble those addresses, and I'll be sending a postcard out to everyone within the village.
She did ask me about that. She's like, is it normal that everybody has a post office box in the home? And I said, yeah, that's normal. That's not like fraudulent or anything.
Okay.
Everybody
Well,
has a post office box. Almost everybody has it.
Yeah.
Most everybody, unless
Yeah.
you're on state route.
Yeah.
The jail update, I reached out to Ghost Town and haven't heard anything back. I will be talking at Lions tomorrow night, and the gal didn't let me know. Is that still at the
And still at the Lutheran.
Lutheran?
Mhm.
Okay. 26th of this month, Greg, Tammy, and I are meeting with the, leadership at the community partnership, they're gonna kinda go over some things that, what went well, what would you like to change for next year, and see where we're at on that. One of the things that I think we need to look at again is kind of some strategic planning and long-term goals. We did that several years ago. We have really done an awesome job of meeting a lot of those. So, I'm kind of waiting till we hear back from the spill Downing to kind of see where we put it all in place. You have the ERUs and gas in front of you. Luann Ingold Cook, she works for Macaulay now since whoever she worked for made it down to the DC. She's called me twice about the possibility of some project for capital budget. I told her we're gonna have a capital budget project, so she's gonna just kinda hold us. I'm not sure what it'll be yet, but, this is Macaulay's last year. And he's also the head of that, which gives a little more pull, so hopefully, we can come up with something. You do have to have 50%, so I mentioned, 2 years ago, I threw in a phase 2 for the community center, and they did call me and said, do you have the other funds? No. Okay, well, you're out. Now that we've put some money into it of our own, I told her about the TAP grant and to see if maybe we could piggyback on some of that. So we'll kind of work on that one. And the other thing that I would like to ask a motion for tonight, we did very well with AEP. I would like to ask that we give a $100 gift card to Ed May for helping us out to maneuver through all of those meetings and negotiations.
I'll make a motion to give it $100.
Second.
Thank you. He won't like it, but
Right.
yes, we need to take a vote on that. And all in favor?
Yeah.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same side. We tried to buy him breakfast one morning when we were meeting, and he wouldn't take that,
Didn't take
so.
that. Well, that'd be like $5.99.
Yeah.
Bread.
So when the card, when you
So
give it
you-
to him, be like, you should have accepted breakfast.
Yeah, well, yes,